Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy DC coming back with another bullseye video here today on the channel. This is gonna be another one of the episodes in the plugin of the week series. One of the series that I'm gonna be talking about all the plugins that I like to use in depth, and I'm gonna give y'all a free preset pack. So down below, check the links, and you'll see the link to the free preset pack. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also, go ahead and purchase a course, book a mix, support the channel anyway, and we will continue to support you. So listen to this song that I recently mixed. I'll talk about how I use the C4 and a little bit more information about how to use it.
Process everybody I go through, so don't feel like it's only just you. But one thing when me sure about, with God in your life, you make it out. So when you look up to the sky, just tell him thanks and smile. We all have been one road, but no say we now walk alone. No give up easy, just believe me and don't make them try take your soul. We all have to face the truth, but don't make it consume you. So when the pain when you feel gets hard to control, just know life full of pure gold. That's why me.
Today we'll be talking about both the C4 and the C6 as well. So very first thing with the C4, let's go over the actual controls in the history. You know, back in the days we had I think it was like the drummer multiband compressor, as well as, wasn't it the Tube Tech multiband compressor? Those are the two multiband compressors that come up to my head when I think about analog units, and I feel like this C4 is kind of based on that. When we look at the beginning side, which is the right side, the behavior, right? So you have the difference between electro, which is what the drummer was. The drummer wasn't it 1974, 47, one of those. That was like a FET processor, so that's electro. And then the opto, which was like the Tube Tech multiband. Then you have the release time. ARC is automatic release, so the release times right here don't really matter, but when you have it on manual, then these release times are affected. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Then you have the knee. So the knee is the actual shape of the compression, and a lot of times the knee is making me think about Play-Doh. Back in the days when I was in elementary school, we had Play-Doh. Okay, so when you have the Play-Doh, you can start to sculpt it. So you see how when you change the knee on a compressor, what's starting to happen is now you get more control over the shape. You get more control over the Play-Doh. If you want to make it into a ball, a brick, a dinosaur, it lets you play around with the compression. Okay, so the C4 is a great way of getting things to be controlled, or even adding some emphasis to it. Let's look at these background vocals that I have to start. Okay, and let's just actually hear what it can do.
And don't make them try take your soul. We all have to face the truth, but don't make it consume you. So when the pain when you feel gets hard to control, just know life full of pure gold. That's why me pray to the Most High. 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 And don't make them try take your soul. We all have to face the truth, but don't make it consume you. So when the pain when you feel gets hard to control, just know life full of pure gold. That's why me pray to the Most High. Pray to the Most High.
So what you kind of hear it does is it's like a barber, with that number 2 or that number 1 on the side of your head. It kind of gets everything to blend a little bit better. Okay. So you have the gain. This is the makeup gain. After it's doing the compressor, you can add more level. And sometimes I might use this to just make things brighter. Like, for example, if I wanted this to be brighter, I'll just only, add more volume to the high end. Okay. Then you have the range. The range is the maximum amount. It's pretty much the credit limit of the multi-band compressor. It can't go past that credit limit. It can't spend any more than 4 dBs right here, right there, or 5 dBs right there, which is really good because it lets the compressor still hold on to it but not go overboard. And maybe sometimes you hear one part is getting overworked a little bit too hard, you're going to pull your range back. So that's what the range is, a credit limit. The attack is how stingy the compressor is. Is it grabby? Is it greedy? Oh, I see that water bottle, give me that water bottle. You feel me? Is it like that, or is it like, oh, that water bottle's right there, should I take it? Okay, now I'm gonna take it. There's a little bit of delay into the time that it actually grabs on to that part of the signal. And then you have the release time, which is how quick does it drop that water bottle. Does it drop the water bottle instantly, or does it hold the water bottle a little bit and then it drops it. That would be like a slower release time and everything, okay? Type of situation. So, you pretty much understand all the controls. And one of the presets I use a lot, which is going to be in the pack, is vocal. I use this when I want to balance background vocals, ad libs, or lead vocals, when I just want things to be balanced.
But you know, say this life is a test. We all have a mission and we have to do it best. Nothing not go on if your life is a mess. Learn from your mistake, don't hope and regret. But you know, say this life is a test. We all have a mission and we have to do it best. Nothing not go on if your life is a mess. Learn from your mistake, don't hope and regret.
So I want these to be smooth, so I put on the opto mode, which is going to make things a little bit smoother, as well as the softer knee, because I want it to just kind of blend into the rest of the track. All right. So another example of how I like to use this plugin is the C6, right? And this is like, I learned this preset from Jason Joshua. You can use this C6, which is an upgrade because you have the C4, the same fundamentals, but then now you have these free floating bands. These free floating bands are like little zit zappers that can take out the harshness.
You have your good days and your bad days. Just have to smile through them. In a life you have to smile and be grateful. And don't go through. So don't feel like it's only just you. But one thing when me show, so when you look up to the sky, just tell him thanks and smile. We all have in one road, but no say we now walk alone. No give up easy, just believe me and don't make them try to take your soul.
Just by taking out those parts that we really don't need, now we actually get to hear what we really want. So sometimes before even boosting mid-range, I'll just use a multi-band like the C6 to cut in to that chicken and start to take off some of the fat and the oil, the trans fat, the stuff that I don't really need. I just want the protein, which is the 1K, 2K, 3K, the actual presence. I just take out this little airy auto-tune part, especially when you have like a higher voice like his with auto-tune. It will start to give you that grocery bag style type of frequency, like when the grocery bag is just ruffling and shit like that. Okay, then you actually have your genuine high mid right here, which you might have a little bit of harshness there. You could even use it as a de-esser. Most important thing to always remember with this, the higher you go, the faster you should go. So with higher frequencies, because they have more energy and they move quicker, I tend to use faster attacks and faster release. In frequencies in the lower end, what you want to usually do is use a slower attack and slower release. If your release is too fast on the high end, if let's say the release is too slow on the high end, it will start to make it sound like it's clamped and it won't, move as much,
Process everybody I go through, so don't feel like it's only just you. But one thing when me sure about, with God in your life, you will make it out. So when you look up to the sky, just tell him thanks and smile. We all have in one road, but no say we now walk alone.
So that's starting to take out that punch. That's starting to take out that upper crispy, quote unquote, the cooking oil transients that people like. Oh man, that vocal sounds so crispy. It's because of those little transients that are sprinkling off in the high end. So we're controlling that. Now in the low end, you need a slower attack, because with the slower attack, in my opinion, it just will sound a little bit more organic, because usually the transients in the low end, they take a little bit of time to build up, like water at a beach, high tide, low tide. And if your release is too fast on the low end, it will sound a little bit more distorted, because like the signal is going, but then boom, the compressor is like letting go. And it's not time. It's dropping the football in the fourth quarter. That's not what we need. We need a damn touchdown on this multi-band. So that's why in the lower end, your stuff would be a little bit slower. So just remember that, okay? In the higher end, faster attack, faster releases, just remember that. That's kind of like the direction you should go. And then the lower end, slower attack, slower releases, so you can still get your low end punch. You can still have that type of control, okay? And let me see something really quick. I don't want to fuck up my session too. Let me see.
Process everybody I go through, so don't feel like.
This is another plugin that I love to use. I'm not gonna really talk about it, but we'll bypass it in and out.
Process everybody I go through, so don't feel like it's only just you. But one thing when me sure about, with God in your life, you will make it out. So when you look up to the sky, just tell him thanks and smile. We all have in one road, but no say we now walk alone.
I just like this plugin because it lets the mid-range breathe. The mid-range is breathing, but it's still clean and it has color. So all these multi-band compressors will have different colors. The MC404, the C6 and the C4, they have different types of phase distortion because remember, these plugins are all sushi chef, chop, 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 Benihana, chop, 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 hibachi, chop, 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 chop. That's what it does. The vocal comes in there and the vocal will be chopped up and shredded to pieces and then put back together. So that there's an influence on the sound that also happens right there. Okay, so those are the two ways that I had used the multi-band on the track right here. But you guys know, of course, I like to use a C4 pop vocal preset a lot of the times, you know. And then there's like things like multi-band expansion. So this would be kind of be considered multi-band expansion because it's band selective. You know, the rest of this is not being touched, but this part is being touched. And to get this mix to be really crispy, to be seriously crispy, I did a subtle, just more boosting of ozone clarity.
Process everybody I go through, so don't feel like it's only just you. But one thing when me sure about, with God in your life, you will make it out. So when you look up to the sky, just tell him thanks and smile. We all have in one road, but no say we now walk alone.
That move gotta go into the template. I'm putting that in the template, that move right there, because you know, the way that this just subtle saturation and just lifted the mix. You hear it. It sounded really, really good. So yeah, the C6, that's how I use it. The C4, that's how I use it a lot of times. And I want to just show you guys one more thing that I did on this mix. I just like to give game any way that I can. This is a no gatekeeping zone, guys. And this is a one trick that I did on this mix too, is I used I did like a hard parallel compression. I did a nice little chain, hard parallel compression, distortion. Okay, well, I'm not even using that. Okay, and then I use the Aphex vintage oral exciter. I just want to show you guys this because I don't think I'll probably show it in another video, probably not. But I just compressed the shit out of this, sent it into the Aphex, and it gave like a nice air.
We all have to face the truth, but don't let it consume you. So when the pain where you feel gets hard to control, just know life full of pure gold. That's why me pray to the Most High, pray to the Most High. Me pray to the Most High, pray to the Most High. Even though it's hard, we still have to try. Even if you have tears now your eye, pray to the Most High. Pray to the Most High, and don't make them take your life.
Life is a puzzle and a maze. If it don't fit, turn it the other way. One thing me no afraid, say if it don't work, me I go try the next day. Every time when me I go a road, me pray to the Father.
Now you hear that chafing, that chalky frequency in the high end, and all the combination of those things, as well as using the band selection, multi-band and everything of the C6, C4, MC404. You know, now you use that fundamental knowledge that I showed you from the C6 and the C4 to use other multi-band processors and expanders to get your mix to like really bounce and really move in like little areas. You feel me? Like in like these little areas, these little pockets of the mix, making it feel like a world. So I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Down below, you'll see the preset pack, but also click on the website. Check out our website. Go ahead and purchase a course, book a mix, you know, do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. We still gonna keep giving the gems out. So continue to support us. We'll continue to support you. And don't forget to join the channel membership right next to the subscribe button for more tips and videos people never seen before. All right. Thanks a lot, YouTube gang. See you next time. Peace.